Alright, we're gonna go ahead and show you a few tools here. My rough knife for cutting off the legs and my skinning knife. Use this for most of the beaver. And that for some of the finer details. And I use this carpet knife here, this blade, just a regular Stanley utility knife with a set of blades in it. They make two styles. This one's a little deeper, I believe, than the other one. And this is a new tool I'm going to demonstrate to you tonight. Been watching guys with bones and putty knives and different things, and I like this longer handle, and it gives me some extra leverage, and so far it seems to be working out on everything I've tried it on. Took a while to get the technique down. It's a little different than what I've seen demonstrated, so we're going to show you that tonight. Anyway, I'll dry it off a little here. We'll go ahead and we'll go through this one pretty speedy, not breakneck speed, but I'm going to try to get this beaver done in about 20 to 25 minutes from start to finish, clean skinned. And we'll go ahead in here and put a little timer on. And here we go. So first thing I do is I go ahead and crack these back legs open. Got a little bit of a obstruction here with the lights. It's not the best lighting situation, but you don't want to push too deep with this. You can open the guts up, but you got to push deep enough. Like right there, I'm not pushing quite deep enough to get through things. You'll find a happy medium. And she's done there. I'll go ahead and I like to crease the hair to one side. Makes it a little easier to start. I guess I get the tail off. Sometimes I take it off. Sometimes I don't. I just started using this rounded knife for starting here, and I like to get that edge done there so I don't have a bunch of cleanup to do. And in the same swipe, I'm getting about 1 inch or so there. Sharp knife, imperative. Got to have a sharp knife. If you don't have a sharp knife, you're just gonna struggle. Now this beaver is pretty cool in temperature and fat setup, so he's gonna skin a little different than if he was warm. I just kind of rough through this caster area. Sometimes I'll take and we'll just almost to where I'm going to start using my shovel here. Let me see if we can make it go a bit. Now, lots of leverage here, and you notice I'm putting my hand on the body, and if there's a little fat left, I can go back over it and it'll peel it off. See right there, see how that makes for real clean and fast. Not be a little careful around the nipples there. You can take these bigger beaver down to where you start picking up the red meat, and that's about it. Little beaver, you can actually push the red meat on into the back, the kits. But these big guys, Does act as a pretty good scraper though. And putting your knuckles on it and kind of torquing in. I tried a number of different ways, and that was definitely the best leverage that I could get. I'm pulling very hard with my left hand. And that's about it. See the cleanliness of this job there. It's pretty good. If you start to leave a little fat, you can just kind of take a new pry at it and pull that off. I'm about done with that now. So you can see about how much I got done. Pretty darn quick. And nice thing is it's very clean. So I've figured out that I like to skin my tail area relatively soon in the job. Here's another thing. These wires, I just wouldn't skin without it. It's a third and a fourth hand for me. You'll notice how I can just really pull. I love to skin on a tight hide, and if it's tight, you can just maneuver. You see how stretched out that is there, and allows me to really bear in. And if I miss a little spot, I just what I call skin on my finger, using my finger as a, and I'm going over some of those areas. If I miss, I'll go back and clean it up. Might hit it 2 or 3 times. This is the area I was saying I like to skin my tail first. I find that if I can get this area done and move on to my left, this is an area that inside that hip. Now you watch my finger, it'll just kind of rotate underneath there as I'm skinning by. Miss a little area, I can just pick it back up. Gotta be careful right here because it's easy to cut, make a bad cut on the end of the tail. So, but here you can really kind of roll that rounded knife in. And that, you see I'm about halfway, 3/4, well more than halfway, 3/4 with the tail. I explain it as you don't want to skin into a hole. You skin into a hole, you're a lot more likely to. You see I'm working up to the left. And I'm pulling very forcibly with my left hand, keeping a very tight hide. Now I'll move into my front leg here. Again, putting my nail on so that I can have something to pull against. When you pull, you can see I'll be able to break that front leg over. Easy. I'll put my finger up to there, carefully clip a little bit of that fat there. If you do leave a little bit, it comes off pretty darn quick with the flat flesher I'll be using. This front shoulder area is notorious for some thick skin, and you can actually thin the leather quite a bit there. Awful. It's a little on the cold side. He'd be skinning easier if he wasn't quite so chilled. Not cold floor. But I've got a very firm grip with my left hand pulling. sore in his back there. That rounded knife, very conducive to the style of skinning I'm doing here. This red meat, you could just follow it along. If you miss it like that and come up, just go back and start it over. I tend to not just ignore it and leave it. I tend to take it off. I know some people, smaller beavers, not so critical because you can go ahead and flesh it off pretty easy. Some of these bigger beaver, I just as soon go back and pick it up. This is probably the toughest area to skin for me. It's this really fine red meat right here. I'll again pick it up on my finger. If I leave a little bit right there, I'm not too worried. It's so fine it's hard to get under unless you keep it going. Go ahead and lick my knife a couple times here. Just turning your edge like that will make a major difference. I usually grab the closest knife that I have available. Whoa, you see how good it did there. Glad it was at the end of the tail. Major difference in the edge of my knife there, just licking it a few times. Got that trick from my brother. We were out bear hunting one time. Got up there, we skinned the bear, and neither one of us had brought any kind of knife sharpener. He said, "Give me your knife." Reached over, grabbed my pocket knife, and licked it up a little bit, and holy cow, I probably used a knife as a sharpener way more than any other tool for putting a finish edge on anyway. It's not going to move metal very much. It's not going to take a dull knife and make a sharp knife out of it, but it will take and turn an edge. This is an area you can just kind of keep going, and sometimes I find myself just about standing on my back here. A little spot like that, just trim it off if you want, or hit it with a flesher. It's all in getting a rhythm on these swipes like this. You see that? I'll just pick it up with my finger, getting to the point where I need to turn him over. I think I could go faster by doing so. Again, I like to give my fur a quick brush to the left, make sure it's going to be out of my way. Let's see what we're cooking at for time here. 12 minutes. And we're over halfway. Now you wouldn't have to be, you could finish this edge up with the flesher if you want, but I just like to have that edge clean. It's probably quicker just to lick it off with the flat flesher, but kind of a single motion there. About ready to pick up the shovel here. Get past that nip.